Welcome to Hoops Hitting Gems podcast. I'm your host, David Jones, man. I want to thank everybody for checking us out today. Got another special show today. We've been on the post-grad kick the last two shows, and it's all about education, and we're going to keep it going with another good friend of mine, Coach Mike Mason for First Love Christian up in Pittsburgh, PA. Definitely a quality program. Basically, we're going to touch it like we did before. We're going to let Mike talk about his program. We're going to get into the do's and don'ts. We're going to take some Q&As from the audience. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing all right, Dave. How you doing today, my man?
Oh, man, I can't complain, man. You know, we going live down in Georgia, and, man, we had some good tournaments going on this past weekend. Some good kids, man, you need to check out, man. Definitely.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting out there and start recruiting again. And, you know, I've already started getting kids to, you know, within this tri-state area.
Okay.
You know, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, starting to reach out because of, you know, stuff on Twitter. And then obviously what Kyrie and those guys have done on the high school side.
Definitely.
That they start to link together. So that, you know, that helps out a lot.
So we're going to touch a little bit about First Love, man. You know, as I know, you know, First Love is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you know, my hometown. Steelers 10-0. Don't hate, please. But, you know, with that being said, man, you know, First Love came down here to Hoopsgiving last year, so we got to look at the prep side last year. Mm-hmm. So, you know, with the post-grad program kicking off, man, go ahead and tell us more about First Love post-grad.
Well, so it's the inaugural season. You know, it's probably the post-grad thing is now with all the new rule changes in the NCAA and that extra year they're given, and then how, you know, JUCO was still where it's at, and with development being still necessary in some other areas. The post-grad thing was a necessity for this area. So, you know, I'm new to Western PA. You know, I'm from West Virginia. So the post-grad side there was kind of done at Huntington Prep post-grad where I was at a few years ago. Started that program. You know, it's kind of crazy. Started that one. You know, won the Grind Session National Championship in our first year. Sent 29 kids off to school out of 33 from the two teams. So had that was a memorable year. Still waiting on that championship ring to get here in the next few days, so I can kind of walk around with heavy hands. You understand what I'm saying? So, then, you know, so we started. You know, I was headhunted, for lack of a better term. The assistant coach on the high school team, Jeremy Grubbs, was a former assistant at Huntington Prep on the national side.
Gotcha. Okay.
When he moved back home and got with First Love a couple years ago, and the owner Nate, they said, you know, Kyrie said they needed to start a post grad. So he said, hey, I'm, you know, my partner back who's at Huntington Prep. Maybe we need to reach out to him. So he kind of made me an offer I couldn't refuse without going into all the ugly details. So, you know, so I came up last year to help with Kyrie to kind of bring more experience from that next side of things. You know, my playing background and obviously winning that championship and placing those kids and then doing things on a national scale. There were some things that he can tighten up. And so, you know, I came in and I kind of like a big brother and, you know, looking over his shoulder and trying to pull the reins like, hey, go ahead and let it go or bring it back. And, you know, trying to tighten things up because I know their goals on the high school side was to, you know, get into that conversation where Huntington Prep was, you know, get into that national conversation. They were always tinkering in and out of that top 25, still placing guys in school. But, you know, until you hit that top 10, top 15, and you get consistently one or two guys going to high major, then, you know, you're still not in that elite with the, you know, with the Blairs and the Mount Verds and the, you know, that's those
IMGs, the big boys. Yeah.
And that's going to always be difficult for this area because it's still the Appalachian. It's still the mountains. It's still cold. It's not Florida. So
and it's still football country too.
It's still football country. So So with the post grad here was kind of just since they didn't have a lot of local kids on the team. I guess last year there were 3. You know, DJ, Penn State, Isaiah Wilson, who was at Richmond, who, you know, they pulled off a pulled off
Shout
a
out
big
to
one.
Richmond. Shout
Yeah.
out to my guy.
Um,
And just a side note, man, both of them, that's family, man.
yeah.
So we all grew up together. Me and Isaiah's mom and his uncle and DJ and his dad, we played ball together. So, that was special to me. That was definitely special.
Yeah, DJ's dad sent me a message today talking about, good luck today and then congratulations on doing this thing with you. He said he and I talked when I first met you.
Mhm.
So you started to get that major. The high major obviously with DJ. Everything else has been in that mid major round. But Prince was at Pittsburgh
Yeah.
and did a thing there for a while, but he went down to a mid major, and David is doing his thing in South Florida. So everything's been hovering around there.
Yeah.
And then once Nate got involved and you started getting the branding better.
Yes.
The marketing package started looking a little different. You started being able to basically take advantage of some relationships.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And with Nike and things of that nature. So, but like I said, as far as Western PA, it's really First Love, and then fairly close is Kiski.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
Kiski's still new though on the prep side, right? Or post grad.
Yeah, they kind of renewed. From places their history, they were there. They kind of went down, and then for some other reason, I think they were more of a football school too at the beginning. I thought, and then they kind of transitioned more. So they're still in that. They're still in that same boat. So this inaugural season, the biggest thing was going to be fighting this COVID.
Yeah.
From a recruiting standpoint, because you didn't have that pedigree from a post grad side.
Yeah.
Like my tenure at Huntington Prep on the post grad side, even on the even coaching at the regular on the national side, and then going to the post grad, you had the name. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You had Andrew Wiggins, you had Miles Bridges. Yeah. So when they said Huntington Prep post grad, they didn't really pay attention to the post grad.
It was just Huntington Prep. Yeah. Yeah.
I get, many a times I would get phone calls and, it was a tough loss tonight. I said, I didn't lose. I won by 30. What are you talking about? They were, so the reporters, they were getting everything mixed up. So, we dealt with that. So we just had to win, and that's really the same thing here that you've heard the old adage that winning cures everything.
Definitely.
It cures everything. And from that standpoint of they're going to judge coaches in the program based off of one, are you losing or are you winning? Yeah. But in my opinion, the biggest thing for me to be judged on is, are we placing kids?
That's what it comes down to, man. You can be 5 and 20.
I can go 5 exactly. I can go 5 and 25, 5 and 30. Yeah. Play 10 games because of this COVID situation. But if 80
got 100% place,
90% kids are gone,
definitely.
Then that's where it goes. So I think that's part of the problem that you have with post grad getting the recognition, because one, it's not something that's talked about.
Yeah,
it's usually been isolated to the Northeast, obviously with Adam, with the NEPSAC and the National Prep Showcase. Yeah, even as big as it was with the grind session, there were 32 teams in my national championship tournament. Yeah, 32. Well, Geico only has 12. NEPSAC only has 12. So, you had to beat some folks in order to get through that thing. But it still was focused on the high school side more than it was going on post grad.
Now, you just brought up something, man, and I want to get your thoughts on this. And that's what's been bothering me the most about since I've touched into post grad. You got NEPSAC with 12. You got Geico with a few. We know there's about at least 50, 60, maybe 70 post grads out there, if not more.
That are, probably more than that. But yes.
Yeah. And again, I know the pressure is going to come at some point to say, okay, you won Geico or you won NEPSAC. When are we all going to get together and with Prep South champion and with the West Coast champion and make it one big championship? Because now it's going to be, we won, but you weren't in our conference. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was the one thing that and you and I talked about something similar to this previously. Until where you have Geico and Dix is kind of acting as a governing body, so to speak. And for the high school side, that is the gold standard.
Yes.
From as far as championships are concerned, Brian Session will be right behind it. As far as the two prominent things that are there.
Exactly.
That until everybody decides there's got to be a chief and there's got to be some Indians.
Correct.
And so, as well as I do, this stuff turns into a power play, and there's politics that are involved.
Yes, correct.
I think that the one thing that will help is where you have high school teams like First Love, and then you have a sister or brother team in post grad. So correct. each is pushing each other higher. The more Kyrie and them do well on the high school side, then it only elevates the post grad.
Yeah.
And they start saying, well, hey, I'm a 2021. I'm looking to reclass. Well, no, you don't need to reclass. You just need to come to post grad and don't put your
keep it moving.
Jeopardy. You still are reclassing technically, but you don't have to go back and play high school ball again.
Exactly.
So I think it has to be more of a business decision, and then it has to be run the right way. And you had mentioned the Prep South Conference, which with my man Lou, that's one of the things that we talked about when he was reorganizing and trying to get this thing right, because, we had some very pointed and direct conversations. How do we get the focus? How do we get post-grad basketball to be seen in the same light as high school prep?
Yeah.
And I said, because a lot of people, when they think and I think the term prep, which started as post-grad, been bastardized. They just say Huntington Prep. So they think that, it's just everybody's coming in and they're just doing whatever. They don't understand that these kids are literally going to school 7 classes a day with everybody else, whether it's their own school or they partner with another and things of that nature. So I think that there has to be some transparency. And inside that transparency, we may lose a lot of these post-grads, because a lot of the post-grads that I saw when I first was exposed to them, you had the Hargraves, you had the Massanuttons, you had the Fork Unions. Well, those are military based. So they were already regimented. There's already rules and things in place with housing and discipline and academics and recruit. They were already there because the history is 10, 20, 30 years old. Oak Hill in Virginia was still based off of a military style thing before Steve got in there and changed that stuff around.
What do they have behind them, though, that makes it all pertinent? And at First Love got it too.
That money.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And unfortunately, it turns, a lot of people have great visions and ideas for post grads, but some of them, and not all, and there are a few, I can see, because I see all of them now, ever since I've, really gotten into this. When I talk to some of them, I'm like, man, that sounds really good, but they don't have the financial backing or funding like a military or a prominent church to keep them afloat. And unfortunately, they turn into pop-up shops. You know what I mean?
And a lot of them start to look more like 19 and under AAU. And you don't ever want to question someone's intentions.
I don't even think it's the intentions. When people, they see the sports side of it and say, hey, we can run with it, but I think they fall short on the business side.
Yes. Yeah, you have to have a plan. And it's just like in any other business. Most of them fail because they don't have a plan. They just jump into it, say, okay, I can go get some uniforms. And they will spend, just like a lot of AAU teams, they will go spend hundreds of dollars on a jersey and a pair of pants. And, got to have $200 pair of sneakers. But yet the housing isn't up to par, or the food program isn't up to par.
Academically, can't travel.
I can't travel. So I'm going to go stick you. I know that I have to have you into an ACT, SAT class. I'm just going to put you in front of the computer, let you pay the $130 or whatever the case may be, which is part of your tuition. And then you just got to do it. And then the rest of it, I'm in the weight room, I'm in the gym, I'm getting my things over. And then they just on the telephone dogging the heck out of these coaches. Hey, I got this kid. Yeah. But when you don't have relationships with people like yourself from a recruiting side, or you don't have those connections from a coaching side just directly and can't get in certain events, then you end up playing a lot of games
that are meaningless. Yes.
Now you can't get too high and mighty and you say, I'm not just going to go play basketball, because the bottom line, you have to be seen.
Yes.
But you still can't just say, I'm just going to run over here and go play.
Strategic.
And then a lot of kids don't understand, and parents don't understand that even in a post-grad situation, and outside of the showcases, stuff that you're doing, the old grind session, or some of the military things where they invite places, and sometimes a hoop group may do stuff up north, or like you may, if you get those invites, but they're still isolated in those pockets.
Yeah, Phenom down in North Carolina
that Rick is doing down in Rick Lewis down in North Carolina, South Carolina. So you get a situation that these kids will get used to walking into a gym and they see 1,000 people or 500 people at a gym. But then when you post grad and you look up like, oh, I'm playing a game at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You're playing a game at 10 o'clock in the morning. And you may turn around and play another game at 2.
Yep. You're so right about that.
Like AAU, yeah. But just because there's no butts in the seat doesn't mean nobody's watching.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you're playing in a bubble, so to speak. But as long as they can see that light blinking, that little red light in the corner from somebody's iPod, or somebody up there doing this, if they're how technical they are, or some of these VO things that I've seen sitting up top just scanning the whole room.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's watching. And if they're not watching it live, just like that old back in the day, it's Memorex. They're going to look at it a bit. And the danger of what I try to tell the kids is you can't pick and choose how hard you want to go. You can't have that. Nobody's in the gym. I say, because the worst part about video is that they can hit the rewind 10 seconds, 30 seconds. They can watch everything that you say, everything that you do. Now, his footwork, right? He ain't playing hard enough. But in a game, I can sit up here talking to you. What's up, Dave? And miss something. And then the first thing I would do is just go look at my stat sheet.
Exactly.
When he played 35 minutes, he had 19, 6, and 6. Well, let me circle that name. They may say, "Oh, I need to go talk to this kid. What's the situation?" But when they can look at that on tape, bro, oh, that 19, 6, and 6 was after you was up by 30.
Exactly. And you just said something, man, and I just want to expound on that a little bit, man, because everybody, a lot of people, even in post-grad, AAU as well, everybody has this idea, oh, I got to get 30, or I got to get 35, or I got to average 25. And people are scratching their heads when these kids that are averaging 10, 8, 10, 11 rebounds, but they're rim runners. They play hard. They play deep. And they're getting the offers. They're like, man, he didn't even do anything in the tournament. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
And that's and I tell the guys all the time, even in the AAU, a college coach does not concern himself with how many points you score, because he or she has an offense that can get you whatever shot that he wants whenever he wants you to get it.
Exactly.
So they know they can walk into a room and have 100 people in there, 100 players in the gym, and know that there's at least 25 or 30 of them that can get me 18 a night. But how many of them are going to sit down and go say, well, that dude, he's supposed to be that killer on that squad, and go volunteer. That he may outweigh me by 20 pounds and maybe 3 inches taller, but he getting ready to field me today. I'm going to be everywhere he goes, I'm going. Am I going to be the one that makes that extra pass? Am I going to die for that loose ball? When the ref makes a call, am I going to take the ball slamming and walk away? Or am I going to go over and grab it? Here you go, Mr. Ref. Good call, and keep it moving.
Or my golden one. When you get subbed out of the game, do your shoulders hunch?
Yeah.
Are you sulking?
Yeah. What am I doing?
Exactly.
Really? Don't nobody want to see that? Let me do that.
Exactly.
Let me make the faces. Because
are you supportive of your teammates?
Exactly. And those are the big things that people forget about. Exactly. I think that one thing that you said right there, are you a good teammate?
Yes, exactly.
If you're not a good teammate, if you're expecting them to hype you up when you're doing your thing, but you're sitting over there like a bump on a log on the sideline, some coaches will let you go. I'm liable to send you home. I have no reason. I'm not dealing with it.
And you got to be that way. You got to hold accountability. And if you don't have that accountability in your program, you're going to have kids running wild, trying to run you and your program.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The dog wags the tail don't wag the dog.
You're right. That's a good point. That's definitely a good point. So with that being said, man, we want to get into First Love a little bit. Okay. So, man, go ahead and tell me about First Love and the players. We'll start before we start with the players, man. Let's talk about First Love, where it's located, what type of facilities you have, what type of schedule you have. Because I mean, I know what Nate did last year with that prep. Man, they was traveling like the Lakers.
Yeah. They got at it.
Yeah, they got at it. And I mean, when I say when Derek was telling me the way they were traveling, I was like, man, that's better than the majority of D2s and low majors, the way they're traveling.
Yes, they went to Canada, Vegas, Delaware, Massachusetts, Dayton,
Atlanta,
and DC.
They went to Hoop Hall.
Yeah, so Springfield, Mass. Yeah, they did it. So our goal at the beginning of the year was one, not to do what I did at Huntington Prep and have 3 teams. That was crazy.
Okay. Well, okay, and I'll stop you for a second. Explain, and this is a business, so any post grad that has 2 or 3 teams, understand that this is all subjective. So he has his way, and you guys have yours. Tell me why you have 2 teams or 3 teams, or why you think that doesn't work.
Why you have 2 teams? Okay, primarily why you would have 2 teams is, number one, you want to give kids a chance to go. And usually they're broken down. How I broke things down in my previous life at Huntington Prep with my 3 teams, I had a gold, a blue, and a silver.
Okay.
My gold team was made up of D1, D2s. My blue team was made of D2s, primarily D2s and NAIAs that were, right there. They may have been and just, or it may have been an academic issue. They had D2 talent.
Okay.
But the NAIA rules were a little different, that they may fit there, but they can go. So they can just flat out play. So you had that level, and then you had the gray team, the silver, was made up of more NAIA D3s. So those were the academic kids that were, just thinking that their parents wasn't giving up on their dream. They could still play, and it boiled down to one. And I always say, from a post-grad standpoint, people come to post-grad, and I don't know what Brad, you said Brad, so I'm assuming you're talking about Brad trainer, and Lou. Me and Lou talk often. So I always say guys come to post-grad for one of 3 or 4 reasons. One, bigger, faster, stronger.
Yes.
They need a disciplined approach to, shed weight, get in shape, pick up weight, whatever case may be, or just flat out skill development. They have natural ability, but they don't necessarily know how to play basketball. Okay. Second would be academic purposes. If they're hovering around that 2.375, 2.2, and they need to get an A, where you did a recovery class or 504 IEPs, and you can replace 1, 2, or 3, and then they can get there, or a disciplined way of testing, preparing for ACT, SAT, and sometimes they need to be away from home.
Yes.
And then the third one is exposure, which is probably the biggest one these days. Yes. Especially right now, considering that NCAA is not requiring standardized tests. Most colleges aren't requiring them for admission. So it's an exposure issue. So if I'm coming from, from Charleston, West Virginia, where I grew up, or coming from Western PA, which is a football town, I can play. But if I'm not playing on an EYBL team, which there's none in this area, or I'm not on an Adidas team, I'm not playing on the Hoop Group Elite circuit, where I'm playing, I know there's coaches there, or I'm not playing in the top section of big shots, then I may not be playing for the coaches. So there's a lot of AAU being played, but there's not a lot of coaches in there watching.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that exposure comes from people like yourself. They bring you in, and they have to hire you to do your thing.
So let me ask you this. So with you, and you just brought up a great point, and I want to touch on this for parents and players as well. So when they're vetting out post grads, and I'm asking you per se, hey, what type of exposure events you play in? Sure, I can get lip service, but how can they know where you play is where they need to be? What could you tell them to say to research?
Well, for a first year program, that's a little difficult because you haven't got into those things, and that's where the name comes. That's where the name comes in.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's where the name helps. So if my high school team is playing in Hoops Giving, then you best believe I'm going somewhere to play too.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're going to play. Somebody's going to play in the Hoop Hall.
Yes.
Then most likely I'm headed to Florida to go play in the JUCO Prep Showcase.
Scott Golden's. Yeah, Scott Golden.
You see what I mean? So, or if I'm playing Fork Union, or if I'm playing Massanutten, or if I'm playing Hargrave, they have a resume of where they fit nationally. So if I'm playing them, they can either look at you as barbecue chicken, or I'm going here to compete. And then not to toot you, I don't ever want to make myself a focal point in anything I'm doing with these kids. But then the coaching staff's resume means something. So what did you do? Where did you play? Where did you play pro college ball? Did you play pro ball? Who have you coached before? So when you start name dropping that, and I can tell them I have over 180 some kids that I've placed to go play basketball, that I've coached or trained. My numbers, but I don't need to talk about that because I can just point them out on TV. It was a beautiful thing this week to see 15 of mine out there as freshmen and sophomore getting time. You know what I mean? So that's really all you can do, and then immediately when people like yourself say, hey, I got this showcase and I'm going to have them here. Like I told you, you would tell me about 2021. You put me in every last one of them. Because I don't care where they are. They can be Florida, Atlanta, Dallas, Maryland. I got to be in all of them because we have to catch up because of what we're losing in 2020.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's really it. It just really boils down to your resume. And then that marketing package can't be lip service. It has to be, I can put it in print. I can show you these names. I like to call it a CV. I look at a player, a high school coach, AAU coach, or parent discussing post-grad basketball with me, much like if I was sitting down across from somebody trying to get a job at a bank.
Okay.
I can't go in there with the means and all the rest of that kind of stuff. I have to treat this as if you were being recruited by a college coach, because that's you're a freshman in college when you come here, with all intents and purposes. So we have to prepare you as such. So the plan has to be boom, 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 and boom. And then you kind of go from there.
Got a question from one of the audience members. No, not this one right here. Good brother. Cabral Huff down at Voorhees College. Get to know him.
Okay.
Get to know him. We'll talk about that. But his question is, how or what do you tell your kids dealing with recruiting? Are post-grads open to non-D1s?
All of my post-grads are open to non-D1s. Me personally. I don't believe, you and I were talking off camera. A primary statement is never worry about the number behind the D, because
good point.
7% of the 40-some thousand high school basketball players that are seniors that will play college basketball at any level, and that's D1, D2, D3. So it's important for me to know what those numbers are. D1 and D2 is right around 1.2% that'll play Division I basketball. NAIA is right around 1.8%. The majority of the kids that are playing college basketball are playing Division III, and they don't pass
because they have the most opportunity.
They have the most opportunity. So,
correct.
And NAIA being the oldest is always going to be there. You know what I mean? So if you and then sometimes you got to have those tough conversations, and that becomes a situation where if you were a D1 basketball player, then how many D1 basketball players contacted your coach and talked to you and talked to your mom and your dad?
Exactly.
So don't come here telling me that I'm going to South Florida or I'm going to Pitt or I'm going to North Carolina State. If you played 2.5 minutes, you average 1.5 points, you 6 foot tall, 145 pounds, and can't bench press your own weight.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna be that guy to feed you a bunch of pipe dreams. If you have a dream of playing ball, some people get to take this lane. But if you aren't one of those ones that had those options, then you don't get to travel that lane. You may have to travel another one. And that's just, and I think being honest with these kids up front and these parents up front in those situations where they're saying, I'm it's D1 or bust. I've had a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a few of those. And then when we go back a year later, it's time to stay in touch with how's everything going? Hey, I'm still trying to get on somewhere. Okay. Think you should have took that offer at that D2? Or you think you should have took that, so yeah, I believe in, like I said, cast a wide net if you can.
But Coach, here's my thing. And I want to get your thoughts on this as well. And I'm sure with your knowledge, when having these conversations, what these kids don't understand is what's the long-term goal? Okay, is it to get a degree, or a lot of them say, well, I'm trying to go overseas or I'm trying to go pro. A lot of these kids don't understand that there's D3 kids going overseas. There's NAIA kids going overseas. And I think we're failing some of these kids. And don't get me wrong, yes, it looks great for the glitz and glamour for post-grad to be able to market and say, oh, we had 9 D1s or 10 D1s. Well, it looks even better if you had a kid to say, well, this kid took the long road and look where he at. I'll give you a great example. And the great example was Brad Trainer. He called me the other day. He had a kid play on his 3rd team, and he's at Ohio University, and there's big talk of him going pro. Mm-hmm. And let me take a step back. Now, I'm not talking overseas pro, going NBA pro.
NBA pro. Oh, yeah.
And so when we talk about traveling different paths, man, you can sit up here and be a Dennis Rodman or Scottie Pippen and go NAIA, and still you don't know where that path is going to take you. But we're so caught up in the ESPN era.
Yeah.
If we're not on TV, we're a failure.
Mm-hmm.
We're a failure.
I think, Dave, that's where the disconnect between high school basketball and AAU basketball creates that divide. I talked to my kids and I was like, who's the number 1 player in your class? And you'll tell me. Where do you rank? Well, I'm not. I said, then why are you so concerned about what he's doing? Why are you looking at YouTube worried about what Mikey Williams is doing? Or why are you looking at what BJ Boston is doing? I can care less. I said, because again, you're 6 foot tall. He's 6'6". He has a 44-inch vertical. You can't jump over a candlestick. Your skill level is not there. I said, so there's a certain set of things. And I said, and then you also got to remember where you come from. Exactly. If you're playing single A basketball or double A basketball and you're not playing on those circuits, and that's that problem. If you're not on those circuits, if he's in the EYBL and he's at Peach Jam, there's all kinds of eyes on him. That doesn't mean all of them are going to go where they want to go, but there's plenty of eyes on them. If you get to the gauntlet, there's plenty of eyes on them. And kids start watching the logos. Is it UVA or is it UNC? And the coach at Voorhees that may be sitting over there like, you know what? This kid's upside. He probably not done growing. I can turn him into a monster. And they don't realize they can go to him for a year because they still don't understand how JUCO rules work. Or he can go to him for 2 years. And then they can get him bigger, faster, stronger, and then get him to a TCU or a Baylor or a South Florida, whatever it may be. So, like you said, you may not be able to go A, B, C, D, E. You may have to go A1, A2, and then go over here. Mm-hmm. But if you can play in this day and age with technology and these things,
you're going to get seen. Yeah, amen. You're going to get seen.
I mean, I knew when I was coming out of high school and college, I surely wasn't looking at a coach or talking like I'm talking to you now.
Definitely, man. And I'm going to touch on that as well, Coach. Just this past weekend. So one of the things about Georgia, everybody, yes, sir, free education all day.
No
No
doubt.
doubt, all day. And what I wanted to touch on, we went down to, everybody knows about Atlanta. Well, we went down to Middle Georgia. We went down to Macon. Macon and Warner Robins do an excellent job. Shout out to Macon and Warner Robins. And it was time to show them love. Well, we went down there, and man, I'm looking around like, man, like you just said, if I'm a coach, I'm looking like, well, here go a kid here. He's just as good as one of the Atlanta kids, with a little bit of polishing. It's the same thing. But like you just said, out of that exposure piece, they weren't getting that. And we made it a point to go down there and see. And man, I left beyond impressed. Beyond impressed.
There's ball players. There's so many ball players out here that you couldn't find them all. You can literally go into any town in this country and find somebody who will tear somebody's head off who's getting paid $1 million.
Yep, exactly.
But we get focused. This is where the marketing comes in, like Rucker League. We'll focus on the Rucker because we know that there's ball players there. But forget about Sidwell Friends League in DC. Forget about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forget about in our area here how the league at Otterbein used to be back in the day in Wheeling.
Yes, sir.
Or you forget about how the league, in Cincinnati, the pro-ams that were playing there, where you
pro-am in Cincinnati,
all that stuff.
Guys
that can play. Now they're doing that for one reason or another, but people think they don't put enough cachet in it because, like you said, if they're not on YouTube, if he's not getting all the views, this is what happens. But then when
you're not legitimate.
Yeah, you're not legitimate. Guys who are getting all those looks have to go face to face with that kid who is just hungry, who's taking care of his classroom, who's humble, who's getting up working while you playing PS5 and doing all the rest of that kind of stuff. He's shooting 80% from the free throw line while you shooting 60. All things being equal, a college coach is going to give him just as much money or more than he is you because he's going to be around. And a lot of times coaches don't, parents, and they don't understand, these kids don't understand how that money works.
Man,
at all.
We could have a whole nother show on that right there, because what you just said, especially once you step out of D1, these D2 and NAI programs have a budget. So if you can get a NAI academic scholarship or a D2 academic scholarship to go with that money and they can save, you're a lot more attractive.
A lot more attractive. And that's why there's a such thing like the gentleman who just popped up on the screen and said free education.
Yes, sir.
If I, back to, I like picking on high school basketball academics wise, because I think that they do athletes a disservice. And this is why I say that. Okay. NCAA tells us 2.5, right? High school says 2.0. But I'm preparing you to play. I'm preparing you to go to college. Well, it's okay to be average or below average, because 2.5 will be average. 2.0, then, and I'm not educating you on how the clearinghouse works, what your credits are supposed to be, or I'm saying that, going to work with somebody like David I'm not doing that. I'm not. Why? Because you're talking to part-time high school basketball coaches in the public arena, part-time.
Yes.
Getting paid $2,000 to $5,000 to $6,000, $7,000 at best. Curriculum of teaching kids that they probably don't like half the time, and they just trying to get to the gym, and then they're playing off of that. They do their AAU things, and so you have a gap there. So we're saying it has to be here to get into college, but we think it's okay for these kids to hover here, and then we lose these kids
that are in between that threshold.
Parents don't know the rules. The coaches they don't know the rules, or they're not willing to share, or they get tunnel vision and focus on the one that can make it. And it's usually the other 5 on the team that didn't get the shine that ends up, like you said, going to the school, getting 60% of their money academically. The other 40% is coming from the athletic side. But when they sit down in April and that NLI gets in front of them, nobody knows what's on that sheet of paper.
Exactly.
Mama, daddy, the school, and the coaches. So if it says 100% coming from academics and 0 but I'm still going to play basketball, who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm getting there. I have an invite to the dance. And that's all I'm trying to do. And once I get there, now it's a whole different level. I got to change what I did yesterday. Okay, this is getting ready to go up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to take it one step further.
And that's why, I praise postgrads because it's kind of like that second chance a lot of times for these kids. They're like, okay, you didn't understand the process. So like you said, you were that 2.0, or they kept you barely eligible because they wanted to win, but they didn't explain the long-term effects of this, right? So now, like you said, now you need that 2.3 to get in. You got to 1.9, or because a lot of them keep them eligible just for the season, and after that it's whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They'll just let them go.
So like you said, so now it's graduation time and you got a 1.8, a 1.9, or 2.0, or 2.1. In those cases, like they say, they can come to First Love, they can go to T-Lab, they can go to Central Point, they can go to all of these great postgrads, and like I said, have an established system where they can get you eligible. You know what I'm saying? So not only is it more than just being eligible, like you said, got to get them bigger, faster, and stronger, because one of the first things I said when I started watching postgrad basketball, I said, whoa, this is a lot different than high school basketball. A lot different. These are men out here, basically.
These are grown men. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so, man, I just been so passionate about this because, unfortunately, at some point, all of us got to get together and maybe have a symposium or something so these parents can understand, way before they get to a postgrad. You understand what I'm saying? Because, and I'm not knocking any high school coaches, because I know some incredible high school coaches, especially here in Atlanta. We're blessed here in Atlanta. There's some great coaches, high school coaches. But there are some coaches that will tell you in a minute, that's not my job.
Correct.
So then we have these problems that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Now, in Atlanta, like I said, Atlanta is awesome, but every place isn't Atlanta. And we have football cities where basketball is the state condition for football. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. So, it's just one of those situations. And then, whether you have single moms or dads that they're gung-ho and supporting, but they don't understand the process. So that's when I start getting calls in July, August.
Yeah,
hey,
when it's almost too late.
Exactly. And, like I said, with you, with Coach Graham, with Brad, and, like I said, and Huff, like I said, you need to meet him. With Huff, like I said, incredible guy. And he would be one that is, like I said, I'm still learning from him every day. And it's a situation where people need to educate these people out here and have these symposiums like the Coaches Association in Georgia, man, incredible. There's some great brothers out there, and of all colors that, I'm sitting there listening like, man, I feel ashamed. I didn't know that. And when you don't know, you start, hey, let me go look and see what's going on. Yeah. But when you leave, you're a better person and you're more educated, because, let's be honest. People could come to you and, like I said, being the person you are, I know I'm not worried about that, but you could take them for $30,000 and they could be looking at First Love on the chest, but not understand anything about what First Love does, right?
Correct.
But it's the process, and you can only just sell results and not explain the whole process and be like, well, like you just said, I had 15 kids, in college this weekend. A lot of time, unfortunately, that's all parents want to hear. Hey, he got 15 kids in college and he can verify them. We're good. We're going. But what about the rest?
Yeah.
And that's the rest of the process.
And that's where, and like I said, Lou and I talk about this probably once a week, once every 2 weeks. And then other coaches that I deal with that I feel that share
the same
vision, because just like myself, Lou's been there. We know what it's like to go to play ball after college. We know what it's like to receive a check on Monday. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we also know what it's like to have that check taken away. And instead of looking at it as, say, well, he only played overseas, like you were talking about that earlier, or he played in the G League. Where'd you play? You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that just that fraternity is so small, but it just seems like it's bigger. And then again, having a plan that says our primary goal is to get you to school. We're just using basketball as the method,
as the vehicle. Exactly.
And sooner or later, this Nike, this Adidas, this Evolution, whatever it is that you're using, is going to go flat, because this ball is undefeated. Just like time, it's undefeated. The ball cannot be stopped when it's moved, just like time cannot be stopped once it gets started.
Exactly.
So, I'm 50 years old and I'm still up here running up and down the daggone basketball court. Fortunately, I don't look like I'm 50, thank God. But because of basketball, I've punished my body, but also have 5 college degrees that I didn't pay for. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pay a dime for them. So you can take my knees away, you can take the jump shot away, you can take all the rest of that kind of stuff away, but you can't take.
And you can't take that piece of paper away.
And I got to keep it. I said, so, I'm blessed. And, my dad used to say this to me all the time: never be the one in the room that they can talk over top of. So how do you not look like an athlete? Well, you go in there, you learn how to carry yourself properly. You put on a pair of pants, you put on a pair of shoes. Everything ain't got to be Jordans and tennis shoes and sweats and slides and all the rest of it. There's a time and place for all of that. Exactly. So I think part of the lessons that some of us teach, Lou, Brad, those guys, and even, a lot of stuff that I know goes on at the JUCO level, because those guys are still teaching.
Yes.
You have to put the same amount of effort that you put in on the court. I have the expectation that you do the same thing off the court. That's not just classroom. That's how you carry yourself. That's how you present, how you talk to people. Is it yes, sir, no, ma'am? Are you slouched over? Are you doing? Because sometimes those simple little lessons that you learned when you was in kindergarten,
no eye contact.
It's going to be the very reason that coach says, you know what? I like that young man. He may not be as good as this kid A, but when I put A and B side by side, numbers are close. This kid may average more points, but this kid has a 3.875.
He's better for the program.
And for the program, it looks a whole lot better when they get suited. And that number, that graduation number that people don't think about, everybody is not going to be Calipari. Everybody's not going to be Roy Williams. When you take those the perennial top 10, top 15 programs, Blue Bloods that are sending them in every 1 to 2 years, they're just going in and they're going out. They know what that is. That is a business. That is a business. So you can either be the owner, chief, or the Indian. When you're in there, you're just an Indian. But you need to learn how this whole thing works and understand until they raise your name from a rafter and they take that jersey off. And it says nobody will ever wear 32, 33, 8, 4, 15, whatever that number is. Somebody else is going to have that jersey on. And it's not like it was when I was coming through or you were coming through, where we had guaranteed 4 and 5 years. Those things, that ended in 89, 90. Now everything is year to year. So
and they'll send you home before that. See, and that's what kids don't understand. They will send you home Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they will. And it's scary because people have this, I'm going here. Are you? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Huh. Okay. Well, when's the last time you got up and just did something without me having to tell you? When did you get up knowing that you've been a little sluggish and not running and you said, I'm not going to eat 6 pieces of pizza tonight? Or I'm going to get up when the sun is up at 7 o'clock in the morning before the snow hits the ground. I'm going to run another 1.5 miles around just so I can keep my wind. Or when I'm looking around with a team of 13 or 14 guys and 4 or 5 of them are hurt, knowing that you're getting ready to go play 3 or 4 games this weekend and I have to play 35 plus minutes in order for us to come out of here. And the coaches that may be watching when Lou broadcasts a thing, if they tune in the last 5 or 6 minutes and I'm tinkering because I have no energy because I was up playing PlayStation all night, or then what's they going to look like? They're not paying attention to what you did in the first 15 minutes unless they have enough discipline on the coaching side to let me look at this kid even further. He had a bad day. But it's all relationships. They have as many choice. They have so many choices to choose from. It's almost like you said. You have what 8 seconds to make a first impression in a job interview or when you talk to somebody. Well, you may only have 3 trips up the court in basketball.
And I mean, what you're touching is it hits home even more, and it touches on last week's podcast where Lou came to Atlanta, and it's not that he made us look foolish, but he grabbed 4 kids. We knew of them, but we didn't know that they were going to be that type of player.
Yeah.
And I was the first to say, man, we got to do better. But in reality, man, there's so many here in Atlanta. It's casualty of war.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's when you get as passionate of it as you are, and when you sacrifice your life and your time with your family, like Lou and myself and Brad, you want to cast that wide net, but knowing good and well that it's just not possible.
Yeah.
Lou, Lou done got on me so much. He's like, Coach, I don't know what you're doing, but you better let that go. He done told me several times. Like, I'll say, man, you know what? I wish I could have got that kid. Why couldn't this? And he said, what you keep asking yourself why for? So you can't look at the casualties, look at the successes. And then hopefully that you teach that one to go out and grab 2 and bring them back and then train your replacement.
I'm with you, but I'm also in the same boat as you.
Oh, yeah,
and
no
I
doubt.
say that because when you see that, like when I see the kids that Lou grabbed, and I'm like, okay, I missed that kid, and he was 10 minutes away. And people are looking at me like, Dave, you can't, sometimes, like you said, a path is going to be different. So what he was in high school, he's something totally different in post-grad. And that's a shout out to you guys as well, because sometimes they get to post-grad and explode.
Yeah, because it's different over here.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, any JUCO coaches and that are constantly putting kids out, it's different over there. This isn't, it's a microwave. I think that's how I like to explain what we have to do in the post-grad world. Depending on how they start the program from an academic side, we've only had 9 months.
Yeah.
I've got 9 months to either get you bigger, faster, stronger, get your grades up, expose you, and teach you how to be a young man. I got to do all 4 of those things in a short period of time with another 12 people. So everybody's not built for this. And then you got to throw. Then you do have to throw that money in there because it is a factor.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to tell people. I know Lou will definitely agree with this, and I'm sure Brad, any other post-grad coach you talk to, when you start talking about it's $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000.
That's a game changer for a lot of kids.
They can go to a JUCO for free.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if you don't have the means to do it, then that's where you're supposed to go. And I'm not it's not hurting my feelings because this isn't going to be for everybody. And hopefully in the next year or so, the NCAA starts to recognize, and I think that comes as a byproduct of, your original question of how do you legitimize postgraduate basketball and get it to be recognized the same way you have as national prep ball or high school ball, is when the NCAA comes in and blesses it and they say, okay, you can take that FAFSA, you can go get a student loan. I know there's things out there that's in the works that if we charge $20,000, I'm just tossing out a number. If any program charges $20,000, which includes your food, housing, and they may give you a scholarship, and it's going to cost you 10, that you can go get half of whatever you have to pay towards that from a student loan that you don't have to repay until you get out of college, just like a regular student loan. Because if you are technically a freshman in college when you come here, then you should see, in my opinion, you should receive the same rights and privileges as any other freshman. That they can turn that paperwork in, review it, apply for Stafford or Pell Grants or whatever the case may be, and that gets applied. But the only way that's going to work is that programs like mine, programs like Lou, conferences like the Prep South Conference, that's going to hold these prep programs accountable to where you have a school program, a legitimate academic program is in place. Your housing is sufficient. Your food program is sufficient. Your recruiting program is sufficient. Whether I've partnered with you or I've partnered with in what else in NCSC, whatever those other ones are, whatever the case may be, that I can tell a parent without a doubt that this is how we eat, this is how we go to school. We have a partnership with CCAC.
Okay.
Lou just is just turning a whole
yeah, he crazy. Man, hey, I'm about to turn him in, man, when he's going down there, man.
You know what I mean? Crazy. I didn't see it until today, like, bro, we got to talk. And he didn't share that with me, so I know he listens, so I'm gonna get on him about that when we do talk. He didn't even tell me that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a situation like that now he may have a kid come in for a year of post grad, and if they don't get to a Voorhees or they don't get to a Logan or they don't get to Tallahassee or they don't get to some of those other ones that are down there. Chipola. They don't get to that stuff in Florida. Guess what? Yeah. You ain't got to go nowhere, young fella. And now,
stay right here.
Now we do have and all that stuff where you can get that academic stuff. And now I get to carry all that discipline that I put in you for that 9 months. It ain't changing because it says T-Lab Junior College. Yeah. You still get that 2-year degree, and there's some bachelor degrees that you can extend out of there. That's huge. And so those are the type of things that obviously somebody's already listening. You see what I'm saying? But so he can't be the only one. He may not want to share the information on how to do it. And I don't respect that.
He got to do the leg up first. Let him do the leg up first. Let him do the leg up. Then he'll go ahead and he'll bless the knowledge there.
And then I'll break bread with you. But I get it. But when that starts to happen, then you start to work with a Voorhees, like you're saying, Coach Huff, and then egos get set aside.
Exactly.
And it's understandable. Like if I had to sit down at the feet of somebody to learn, then what's the problem with that? How am I going to expect these kids to sit down at my feet and listen to what I'm bringing to the table?
Exactly. Humble yourself.
To sit down and do the exact same thing.
Definitely humble yourself.
I'm not going to tell somebody at the NCAA level how it's supposed to be when that's what you do every single day. Whether it be at the JUCO level or whether you be at a 4-year, it doesn't matter. You know what requirements are. You know what expectations are. You know what waivers are supposed to be done. Now, if you don't say 80 tonight, it'll show. That'll show. It'll show. If I send 3 kids your way and you get them to school and all of a sudden they all telling me the same story, then okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you, but at the same time, beep. Okay, we got to watch this stuff because he stuff.
Red flags. Red flags, plain and simple.
But you got to get out your way instead of trying to ride the coattails and it's all about me. You don't need to say anything.
It's not about you. It's supposed to be about the kid. That's what it's supposed to be about. And, I think a lot of people sometimes will get caught up in this. And don't get me wrong. I mean, all of us are competitive. And being competitive, you want your program to be successful. So with your program being successful, yes, you're going to do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be so competitive that it affects that kid, then you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
You got to check yourself.
Yeah. When you need to lead, after a while, I think, you take the wolf pack mentality. When we see a wolf pack, we think that the person up front, just like a goose, is leading the pack.
Yeah.
When you pay attention to what's really going on,
he's
way back in the back. So obviously, if he's comfortable enough to have 50 wolves in front, 12, 15 wolves in front of him, then he did his job in preparation for you to go through there. So I may lead you in practice, and they may hear my voice in the game, but at the end of the day, I got to hand that rock over to somebody and let you do your thing. And then we have to, and then if I tell you to do this and you do this and you make this decision, then you have to be able to live with the consequence. Just like if I tell you to run this play and it don't work, I got to be man enough to say, hey, that's on me, fellas. I screwed up. I made the wrong call. I didn't pay attention to the timeouts. I didn't pay attention that you had 4 fouls. I should have pulled you out of the game when you had 3. So we can't sit up here and get on our high and mighty pedestals if we don't make mistakes. If you see something as a player and can't come talk to your coach, then you've got a problem. And
Definitely.
as a coach, you feel like you can't listen to what your player has to say, then get out the business. Because you're going to run a kid off who could have been that next one. You're going to destroy that part, and then that puts you into the stuff you and I talked about before, where I think what we have to do more, and I know, at this level, post-grad, JUCOs, and some of these smaller levels, AAU, is we have to start paying attention to the mental side of what we do.
Man, yes, that's huge. I've been an advocate for sports psychologists and for exit interviews once this is over with, because you know as well as I do, when this is over, some of these kids do not know how to handle this. You can have kids that are 55, 60, well, not 50, adults at 55, 60, still talking about high school like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I like to call it I call that the Al Bundy syndrome. When I had 3 touchdowns in 1975 and homecoming king, I was like, really? Bro, you're 53.
Yeah, but they still hold. I mean, they will approach women that way. Do you remember me? I was the man.
I lost you.
Right? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lou? Can you hear me, Mike?
I can't hear it. No volume at all.
Okay. Hold on one second.
Clear, so that's good.
Let me see if that's me. Hold on one second. Not sure. Can you hear me now?
Hello. Microphone's working.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
I can't hear you.
Man, and you sound perfect. Okay. So what we're going to do, give me one moment. We're going to play some highlights, okay? Okay, so I have to apologize for that, man. So, as you say, we're having a great conversation. You back?
Yep, I'm back.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. I was going to apologize. Like, man, we're having a great conversation, man. So, man, before I let you go, man, got to definitely let you get it in about First Love, man. I mean, we definitely talked about it. I already know about First Love. Man, tell me about some of the players. We were going to play some of the highlights, but we went past our threshold. But I definitely wanted to let you get in. Tell me about the players you got, and tell me some of the offers and what's going on. Tell me all about it, man.
Right now, I've got a team of 13. I have more international students and players this year than I ever have. I've got 2 kids from Canada, 2 guards from Canada. One has some high interest from Kent State, 6'3", 6'4", athletic wing, Kamani Bent. One late, and so he'll probably pick up a mid-major offer, undersized small forward. So that'll fit him. Got a small point guard out of New York named Maurice Dobie. My little bulldog, about 5'8", 5'9", as strong as a bull, plays with everything. So he'll probably fit in that inning. We're trying to find some HBCUs where it'll fit, because that's where he wants to go to school. We got a 6'4" guard out of Canada named Ray Ambrose. Kind of a Russell Westbrook type basketball player, quick on his feet. Not as hyperactive and things of that nature. Then it's like I've got a 7-foot center, 7-foot stretch for Federico, calling Feta 2 times.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You said a 7-foot stretch?
Stretch 4. Yeah. He physically fit as a 7-footer. We immediately think center. but he's not a overpowering kind of guy. Athletic, from Finland.
Okay.
Runs the court like a deer, contests shots at the rim, closes out well, shoots the ball decently from deep.
Anybody looking at him?
Oh yeah, he's got offers, firm off from St. John's, UC, Bakerfield, Oklahoma State, Georgia State. I believe is if they haven't offered, I know it should be coming soon once we start playing and they start saying some other things.
Okay.
And we've seen some calls. Cincinnati have called about him. Dayton expressed some interest because they picked up his best friend and Mustafa Avril, who committed and went to Dayton early so he can start playing in January off the high school team.
That's off First Love, correct?
Yeah, first off the high school team. So we've got a 6'8", 6'9", another stretch four from Turkey named Uku Kurtopoulos. He is committed to Eastern Washington.
Okay.
So he's committed to Eastern Washington, and then I've got Travis Easterly from Youngstown, 6'3", 6'4" combo guard. Kind of got that slow old man game. Can score. Can get buckets quickly. He's actually the nephew of the kid that's at Youngstown. That's from Youngstown. That plays for South Florida now. That they're first cousins. So
is that the kid that went to First Love too?
No, not David. The kid from Youngstown that has the wild hair.
Oh, okay.
5 guard. Yeah, that's his. And Travis spends a lot of time in Georgia.
Got you.
He's got another cousin down there. Yeah, Caleb Murphy, Dre. That's who that is. Yeah, that's his. That's his. Yeah, him and Travis are family. They play a lot of life. He's a strong physical guard, downhill player. It's going to be a good ball. If we find a right D1 pro mid major, he'll fit in fine, like in a MAC or somewhere like that, where the guard 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". He can play there. And then I got let's see who else we have there. I got another kid from Finland, my little sniper. I call him Tricky Nicky John Tunen. About 2 long range, kind of reminds you of Jet Rosing that played on the high school team.
At Duquesne now.
One of those shooters. Learning to play. And a lot of these kids, a lot of times, a lot of Americans don't understand that in Europe, they're basically playing club pro ball at age 15, 16.
Yes.
So they come over here playing with a 24-second shot clock, playing at a 22-11 3-point line. So his range is deep.
Extended.
Extended. So, but because of his size at 6'2", he may not be a typical shooting guard. But if you need somebody to stand in that corner and let that thing ride, oh boy, he's very good at that. Then another kid, Stefan St. Cyr out of Westerville, outside of Columbus.
Yeah, outside of Columbus.
So, he's got some D2 looks, battling a knee injury there, so that's kind of slowed him down a little bit. And then we have another 7-footer, Matty Orsay, who was on the high school a couple years ago. Still recovering from a knee injury, but he's long, physical. He plays. He's still getting his hands and footwork together. He had strong interest from Dayton a couple years ago before he got hurt. His last game that he played before he got injured against, then a McDonald's All-American, Oscar Schwebe.
Yes, Oscar. Oscar's at West Virginia, right?
Yeah, he had 19. He had 19 and 14 against Oscar and held him to 11.
And Oscar's that's a grown man right there. That's a grown man. So if he had 19 or 14 against Oscar, that speaks for itself right there.
So he's just got to get that leg back, trust the surgery. He tried to come back a little bit last year. So, when we play this weekend, God willing, no issues.
Where you guys playing at, man?
We're at Spire Academy in the North Division of the Prep South Conference. So we play Don Prep out of Cincinnati on Saturday.
Okay.
And then Illinois Prep Black, I believe, on Sunday. The first session, we were exposed. We had somebody we were just exposed to that had COVID-19. So I called Lou 2 days before and said, hey, just out of precaution, we're not going to show up. So they had that first session up up at Spire previously about 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
In our second session, which would have been a week or so after the first one, they had some one or two of the teams had some exposure issues there. So we were going to the team that had the exposure, so they have to postpone that second week.
Okay.
So we just been kind of beating up on each other and trying to stay sane and hopefully, like I said, just get out here, and if they play right, I'll keep my mouth shut. But if they don't play right, then Lou will probably be calling me talking about Nate's is crazy. So,
so let me ask you this: so, from a recruiting standpoint, you're hitting Atlanta too, right?
I'm hitting everywhere, but yes, I'm definitely coming south. Well, you're down there, so there's no reason for me not to hit Atlanta. So.
I got you. And just to let my listeners know, he'll be coming down in February. First Love will be down here, so y'all can get a look at him. You'll get a look at Central Point. You'll get a look at TLAP, and you'll get a look at First Love as well. So the tournament that's going to be in February, it's for the smoke. Let's just put it like that. Yes. It's definitely for the smoke. But, man, like I said, one last thing I wanted to touch on before I let you go, man. Facility-wise and your meal plan, touch on that to let the listeners know how First Love does it.
Facility-wise, we are in we have 2, 3, 4-bedroom, brand new townhomes that the owner paid for. Okay. Everything's high-end. We have 2 kids to a room. One of the coaches, myself, I have 6 kids here with me, and then my assistant coach will have 6 kids with him next door. That's from a housing standpoint. All food and everything is there. We cook dinner every day. And now as we've been here a couple months, we start assigning the boys to learn how to do taco night on their own, cooking for everybody. Spaghetti on their own, cooking for everybody. Learn to use that grill. Learn, there's chores that have to be done. They get assigned by the rooms. I'm not here to babysit. I'm not an adult babysitter. We're not going to do it. I didn't make you. I ain't raise you, but we're not going to sit around and just let you just lay around and do nothing. We're not doing that.
Gotcha.
So from a housing standpoint, I would put our housing up against outside of those big ones, for as far as off-campus housing.
Yes.
Then this is better than a lot of Division I programs because of what he does to them. So then the transportation, I had 2 big 15 customized vans, big.
I saw.
Yeah. Second one was delivered to me a week or so ago, so we'll be getting that thing wrapped up here soon. Academically, we have a high school building. Right now, everybody's obviously doing things online, but in the normal world, which I don't know if I can say that anymore, the old world, we had the high school, the post grad. So I have a contractual partnership with Community College of Allegheny County.
Yes.
So by having that partnership, I know that's why my man Lou copied me, but I'm gonna let him have that one. But yeah, by having that partnership there, that allows us to basically see they don't have a basketball program. So my players in a normal situation, we actually become part of that campus. So we will practice there, use their older gym.
Wait, CCSC doesn't have a program anymore?
But I don't see anything online about a basketball program. I haven't met a basketball. So
they used to have one. They used to have a pretty good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. I just because of this situation that we're in, I just don't know who it is. But I know they have a newer gym because when Nate finished everything up, he sent me all the videos of the older gym. The shot clocks are there, the college lines are there. So something had to be played in there.
So that's where you guys are playing at CCAC, right?
Well, when they open it up, that's where we'll be playing home games. So as of right now, we're going to be a bunch of Ronin. We're just running around as road warriors. Because Western PA, Pennsylvania is basically, in theory,
shut down.
Yeah, so we have to go places. And then hopefully not a lot of cancellations. So it's a constant moving target. But in a normal circumstances, my guys take 12 hours of courses there, two classes in the fall, 2 classes in the spring, and plus their ACT SAT prep course.
Nice. Okay.
So when they leave me, they should leave me with an A or B average because C's aren't allowed, and then higher test scores at least 12 of the 15 hours out of the way for that.
So they should be halfway done with their freshman year.
Yes, well, yeah, because it's 15 now for NCAA, so you have to stay below that threshold for them not to
Yeah,
be considered full-time students. So by the
yeah,
time if they commit in April and the college school says I need you here in June and I'm gonna go ahead and put you in a class, they can go ahead and knock out 6 to 9 hours of classes
yeah. They're almost a
and
sophomore by that
and
time.
almost
Yeah,
a sophomore. So by the
yeah,
and I try to explain that to kids and parents. Well, he's gonna go to school and come out in 4 years. Well, when you think about 15 times 2, so that's 120 hours over a 4-year time frame. Well, most colleges require 128 to 136. So at some particular point, you're going to be you're going to be taking summer classes. So if I can get rid of 12 of them and you understand what that's going to be like when you go to college and they
yeah.
say, the advisor says, hey, we only want you to take 15, then you can still graduate on time or you can graduate early. My daughter's at the University of Arkansas, starting point guard at University of Arkansas. She
Okay.
graduated in 3 years.
And then take those other years and run it towards your masters.
Towards the masters, exactly right.
Exactly,
So,
man.
and
I'm
people
with you.
always ask, like, how did you get these degrees? I get all these degrees. It's because I tested out of stuff and I wasn't allowed to have a C in my house. If I came in a C in the house, something was being taken away. And if basketball was my girlfriend, then mom and dad took the girlfriend away.
Yeah, no question.
So I knew what the loss was more than I knew what the gain was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's kind of how I play that here with these guys. And I tell them, some people say, well, I only had a 2.2. Well, that's because somebody told you it was okay to be average. I don't operate that way. If I see a C on the progress, and I get a progress report every Friday. So don't tell me that you're doing something because I'm going to find out about it. If you're late to class when you log in, I'm going to know about it. Because of our partnership, I get to log into the same information that the teachers do. So I see everything, every note they make, every time you turn something in. If you plagiarized, I'm going to know about it. And if you did, then there's, you got to come see the wizard.
Before I let you go, man, and this is on my heart to say, man, please reach out to the kids in the city of Pittsburgh, man.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, they're at a disadvantage, man. They're definitely at a disadvantage, man. And, they don't get the same that Western WPIL gets, man. Right. So, and unfortunately, me being a city product, man, I mean, you've seen it for yourself. DJ and Zay are city kids in reality. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you see what can happen with the right grooming. And there's too many DJs and Zays that don't get those opportunities, man. And with First Love being right there, when you guys first came in, I was ecstatic, man. I was like, this is so needed for the city, man, because, and I know you can't get all of them, but if you get one or two like they've been doing, man, that's going to mean a world of difference for the city, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I think Kyrie has two kids that were of Vincentian since they closed.
Yes.
Alex Griggs and Angelo. And then Tyreek. I don't know Tyreek's last name. Tyreek Francis.
Yes.
He's actually Sharif's cousin. Sharif Cooper's
mm-hmm.
So he's here, and so they're on the younger side. So I think Kyrie has a couple of ninth graders. He has one ninth grader, a 10th grader, a junior, and a senior, all from Western PA. I have Mikey Izzo, his dad is an assistant coach at RMU. So he's actually the only Pittsburgh kid that I have here. But one of the kids that I've actually talked to is at Penn Hills. Matter of fact, we've been communicating that I'm actually going to see if I can get him here, and I'm going to see if I can get him in here in January, and then have him later on and go through there, because he actually said he wanted to come this year, but I didn't know anything about that. So because I'm still trying to work my way around. But yeah, so I communicate with Kevin, Naeem's dad, Kevin Miller over at Obama.
Yes.
And so I think that we have to go back and catch these kids as early as possible.
Yes,
and
man.
Not catch them when they're 15, 16, and then you get to that point where you want to put pause on them. You know what I mean? So, if I can get there, and one of the things that I do with my training academy, and then we'll try to implement a lot of this stuff, is I do what I call skill development camps and scholarship camps. So every kid that comes to train me in one of my camps, I give them $1,000 towards private colleges and universities in the country. And if they do that over a 6-year time frame, I can take like DJ's little brother, like Dono. He can come and do that for 5 or 6 years, and we already know where he's going.
He's a monster. He's a monster already.
Like 8-year-old or 9-year-old who's coming and hopefully learning how to play the game the right way. And every time they come to a 3-hour camp, they're receiving $1,000. So over a 6 or 7 year time frame, they can have $24,000, $30,000 sitting there waiting on them.
Yeah, that's a nice look.
The private colleges and universities, the Pitts of the world, they're public. They don't need those type of things. But if somebody says, I want to go to IUPUI, I want to go to Morehouse, which is private, or I want to go to Loyola, Chicago, I want to go to Xavier. I want to go to Xavier in Louisiana or Xavier or Dayton. All of those schools are private.
Cost money.
There's 450 of them on my list that will accept that $1,000. And then all it is a discount. But again, when you start adding academic money,
it all adds up, man. It all adds up.
Like, oh my God, I had $30,000 from going with Coach Mike to go to his camps and learn some things. Then now they can take that $30,000 divided up over 4 years, and you've got $7,500. So you may get money back. So that's one way of making sure that the youth get right.
Okay.
That it's not just spending money on AAU or doing this, that mom and dad can literally see the benefit of participating in this game.
Man, and hey, if you have some open spots, I know some people from Atlanta will come to that.
I will listen. All I need is 12 kids in a room.
Okay.
That are willing to pay $67. That's all it costs. $67 for 3 hours. And then before I get there, that money will be sitting in their account. So
we'll talk some more about that.
You get that list and tell me it's going to be set up, and I'm there. And I can do 2 or 3 of them a day, 2 or 3 of them a weekend. It's only 3 hours. It's not going to kill me.
We will definitely get some. We'll definitely get up on that, man. Brother, I definitely appreciate you, man. I know we're supposed to go for an hour, but I don't care.
That's all right, brother. I appreciate you too, man.
This was definitely worth it, man. For my people in Atlanta, February 6th and 7th, if you want to meet the man, the myth, the legend, he will be down. He will be down at the Hoops Hitting Gems tournament with his team. You'll get to see him. You get to see T-Lap. You get to see Central Point. If you want to stop these brothers and talk to them, they are more accessible than anybody I know.
We will be there. Open arms.
Definitely. Hey, man. Coach Mason, I appreciate you, man. We're going to take you off. We're going to bring in our next guest, but I want you to stay on because what we do is we have our unsigned segment, and, we bring some dogs out, man. We definitely bring some dogs out.
I have nothing to do. But my boys know to not bother me until I come downstairs. So I'll be on here as long as you need me to be, my man.
I appreciate it, man. So, man, you have a good one, man. And I'm going to talk to you probably later on tonight, man, okay?
All right.
All right, man. You take it easy.
All right.
All right. Jew.
What's going on, Mr. Jones?
Man, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm here. Maintaining.
Hey, man, let me say something, man, before we even get into this, man. And I said it at the beginning of the show, man. What we saw this weekend was incredible, bro. It was incredible. Yes, it was much needed. I mean, me and Dre been talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. And, man, before we start, Warner Robins, Macon, Kawasi, thank you, brothers. Thank you. I mean, thanks. We was coming to show y'all love, man, but the love y'all showed, man, it was huge, man. It was huge. It was long overdue. And the kids we saw, man, I mean, shoot. The one kid I posted, man, he about to blow.
You talking about Jordan? You got to be talking about Jordan.
You know that's what I'm talking about, man. Man.
Mr. Jones, listen. I told Dre earlier, I was like, Dre, been knowing that kid since he was a freshman. And I knew he was gonna be different. As far as like for him, I'm gonna tell you who he reminds me of. And if he reminds me of Ahmad Rain.
Okay.
As far as the defensive side of the ball.
Man, you can see it, Drew. You can see it, man. I'm telling you. When he gets some more of that, player development for the O side, man, listen here. And you can, like I said, if people actually take time were to come to Warner Robins or to come to Macon and see a kid like that, I mean, as soon as I saw him, I was like, and I just started to focus in. I was like, man, you know what? That one right there, I'm
And he
trying
got
to
a
tell you.
4.0 and he got a 4.0 GPA.
No, man, listen. Once that was brought to my attention, look,
Yeah.
I was already seeking out mom and dad. Mom and dad's on the show. What's up to Corey, man? I didn't already talk to him this morning, man. I was like, listen, you got a dog and you got a gift. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I told moms, I said, this kid got potential. He
Very
got
much so.
What's good, man? I see you, man. I see you. What's good, man? I appreciate you, man. Definitely. But man, you know, like I said, from this perspective, what I seen down there, man, y'all got something down there, man.
It's
And
talent down that way.
yeah, man, it's talent, man. It was
Yeah.
talent, man.
And that was only my second time in Warner Robins. That was my first time to the Demon Den too.
And that's a beautiful facility, man.
Very.
Shot clocks, everything, man. And you know,
Very.
afterwards we ate with Warner Robins coach, man. Like I said, man, the love was incredible, man. Off the
that's
Dribble
big bro,
podcast. Hey man, what's up, the Off the Dribble podcast, man? Like I said, love y'all, man, already, man, for real.
Yeah,
like I said, Juke, I watched that the whole time last night, all 2.5 hours.
Hey man, they kept me on there. They invited me back on last night, man.
Hey man, listen, love is love, man. You know what I'm saying? Love is love.
Juke, my guy, bro.
Hey, bro, listen, what I saw, I'm excited from what I saw this weekend because I'm thinking long term, and just to hear them brothers talking and their vision, man, I just want to get on the train because I was like, oh, this train going somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can see it. And what Kawasi got planned and the rest of them cats and the way they trying to make it happen, I see in due time, hey, Atlanta going to be coming down to Warner Robins in a minute, bro.
They need to. The coaches need to come down there. The coaches. Yeah. Hey, I told somebody I was just going to get me an Uber service and start taking coaches everywhere. Like, they pay me to take you to some places. They pay me to take you to South Georgia. Pay me to take you to Savannah. Pay me to take you to Macon and Warner Robins. Pay me to take you to Greene County.
No doubt. No,
what's up, Co-Hub?
Hey, Juke, real talk, man. That got to be the next stop, bro. You didn't educate me on Greene County, so you know I got to warm up the car and get on out there.
We play Morgan County this Saturday and next Saturday too. So like,
okay,
if anybody want, I mean, you know, due to the COVID situation, you won't really be able to tell how big the atmosphere really is. But the people that are gonna come, it's gonna be big, man. We only 20 minutes apart. So and that's like one of our biggest rivals besides Hancock Central. And you know, so Putnam, like it's a lot of talent. You know what's crazy? Coaches will drive to go to the Peach Jam.
Yeah.
But will not stop in Augusta. And they should. And that's crazy. Like
you're right.
Because
right.
Man, they let our Western came down, and I probably get this kid's tape next on the next episode. Mm-hmm. There was a kid named Demontrez Ruffin. Okay. He's a sophomore at Iowa Western right now. They used to call him a mini Westbrook in high school. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, when you see his tape, you're gonna be amazed by it. His name is Demontrez Ruffin. And I will put anybody sees this kid, once they see his film, he's super athletic, but he can score the rock. And he's like he's a dog. Like I call a lot of kids dogs, and I have my reason for it. But I will bet the house on this kid, right? I will bet the house on him. He's 6'3.5", 6'4", and he can play the 1 and 2 position. Demontrez Ruffin. Just because of the fact that we talked about Augusta today. I want to make sure I put that out there.
Hey, Huff out here preaching for you on Morgan County, bro. You be preaching for Morgan County. So, you know, you preaching for him, Huff preaching for him. You know me, I got to get out there and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, man. Morgan is, man, when you play Morgan, you got to come with your shoes tied, ready to go, man. Like, they keep telling it every year. So, like, for me, it's an honor to be able to play them again. But shoot, man, last time we played them, they beat up by like 25. They had the kid.
They got up in you?
Yeah, they had Tyron Lawrence. Tyron Lawrence at Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
So like, come on,
yeah,
man. And then
yeah.
they had a lot of good kids, man. They had a kid named Stephen Green. Like, man, and that team won the state that year. So like, I mean, for them to beat up by 25, it was okay, man. We just, we got to put our big boy pants on. We're gonna have to put them on this Saturday.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, man, like I said, between you and Locke, man, y'all the ones that opened my eyes. I mean, I've always been open. Like I said, I just didn't know outside of Macon. I mean, I knew about Macon, but from an education standpoint, I was like, hey, I'm always open to learn. And then, like I said, man, I can't say it enough, man. Warner Robins, Macon, last weekend, man, it was love, man. It was straight love, man. It was, man, that whole tournament, that whole facility, man, I've been talking about it all day, man, all day.
I've been talking about Kawasi. I had some guys from my team ask me about Lil Wasi, man, and I'm gonna tell you this: that man top 3 in the state. Hey, you can say what you want to say, man. He top 3 in the state, man.
Hey, listen, that's not an argument. You can see Wacey last year, man. Like, okay, and again, when I say there's certain kids, he was coming to Atlanta, so we knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? It's these other kids where I'm up here scratching my head, like, hold on, who this?
Come on, yeah,
who that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, think about it. Think about Greg Jones. Look what Greg Jones did.
Man, listen.
Come on, man.
Because he hit for what, 29? He had 29, right?
Man, I've been telling people about. Hey, let me tell you what I told Dre. And I know we got to put our kids on here. But I told Dre when I was talking to him before practice. I said, Greg Jones reminds you of a Clarence Jackson. Yeah. And when I say that because he has a motor. And he's going to give you every damn thing that he has. Everything on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. And for me, and he plays the way he's coached. Those kids are coached hard. Those kids are coached tough. And
man, listen, Warner Robins got some excellent coaching, man. Excellent coaching, man. I was thoroughly impressed, man. I mean, basically, they ran out of gas, man. Outside of them running out of gas, hey, and that little freshman point guard,
man, listen, man. Look, Cam, love him. Man. He was doing stuff that a lot of freshmen, don't do, man. And
whoever is training him, hats off. You doing your thing.
I think Harnett. Don't get me wrong. I could be wrong, but somebody will tell us. I think it's Harnett, man.
He's well above his years, man. Running that offense, he's well above his years.
He got a little mean streak in him too now. So like for me, I look at him having that mean streak through the coaches that are coaching him. You know what I'm saying? He got a little snarl about himself. Mm-hmm. And so like he got that little like, man, I ain't nobody friend out here. Like I want to go into neck. And don't get me wrong, RJ and James had a great game.
Oh,
because
no question.
Because if they didn't come to play, they were gonna lose.
But Drew, here's the thing though. I expect that from them.
Facts.
They have a name. I walk down there like, who's this? Who's that? Who's this? You know what I'm saying? Like when I see RJ and James, and it's no disrespect, I'm like, I expect you to do this.
Expect you to get buckets.
I expect you to. But when I see a freshman going at you, I'm out here like, okay, my man, you got something.
And he didn't even score a lot. He didn't even score a lot.
It didn't even matter.
Play hard.
It didn't even matter. And again, before you came on, Juke, I'm sure you was watching, man. I get so crazy about this. Like, yo, you don't have to put up 35 to be noticed. My man was noticed by the way he ran that offense and by the way he played, man. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah. And you know who I'm big on? I'm big on Jordan Brown. Jordan out there swatting everything, bro. I mean, yeah, he can score, yes, but it was his defense that had me like, hey, who this?
He had 8 blocks in the first half.
Again, man, like I said, I didn't care. I didn't even pay attention to what he did. So I'm sure he scored. It was his defense that caught my attention.
8 blocks in the first half. But one thing that he couldn't block, and they talked about it last night, was when Bam was taking that shot with his other hand. I was jumping
Yeah.
off the wrong foot. He couldn't
You-
block that though. He couldn't.
hey, but
That's a
man, this
different
is
kind of move right there.
but you got to understand this. Bam ain't no dummy though. Bam
Mm-mm.
know he got to alter something when he coming there
Yeah,
on him though. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And
We
that's
saw
just
a
my
lot of
thing,
good
man.
talent, man.
Man, amazing atmosphere, amazing people, man. Thank y'all, man. Thank all of y'all, man. That
For real.
was it right there, man. I was feeling that. Juke, I'm gonna let you go first, brother.
I know you said that you were gonna start. You started off. You wanted to do a girl.
Yeah,
So I actually was supposed to send two, but I only sent one. I'm gonna save the other one for the next.
bet,
Um,
bet.
but I got a girl. Her name's Amaya Moss.
I know exactly who she is, and she's a dog.
She's a yes, lover.
Yes, she's a dog.
5'10",
Mm-hmm.
5'10", can play the 1-4, 1-3 position. And she has a 6 foot wingspan. If you don't know, she does. She has a 6 foot legitimate wingspan with a
Juke,
4.3.
she's 2022, right?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
2022 also.
Okay. Yeah.
2022. She helped Kel get to the state championship. They were the state runner-ups too. I talked
Yeah.
about her on Underrated Gems a couple of like when I first started Underrated Gems. She was one of my first girls that I chose to put on. So
Mm-hmm.
she can shoot, she can rebound, she can play defense. She does
Yeah.
everything you want in a player. I don't have as many connections with with women's coaches right now, but I'm pretty sure that once any coach or any woman's
I
coach
got her,
sees her
Juke.
film,
I got her. Don't worry, I got her.
they'll see.
Like I said, I already saw her and I've already spoken to her dad, so I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
She's like I said, that's a good eye there because, like I said, there's no like, oh, Jude, no, she's a dog.
She don't even. I don't even know if she has any offers, man.
She don't.
That's
She
crazy.
don't. She don't.
That's crazy.
She got some small ones.
Oh. Wow. Come here.
Mm.
Good footwork too.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh, that's a nice pad too.
Yes, she did.
Get out the way.
Baby.
There it is. Wow. Come on, man. And she don't even have big schools on her, and she should.
It's
Look
going to
at her.
change, Jude. That's going to change. Trust me. That's going to change.
Oh, come here. Whoopsies. Let's
In
go,
the
man.
left. Mm. Give me that.
Look at how she stay in front of the girl on defense.
Mm-hmm. Solid rebounder.
And I want it. Wow. Kill it.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Trust me. I fully expect after this season, by the time she's going into her senior year, she should have about 3 or 4 offers. Because, on the girls' side, they usually offer early. And that's why, like you said, when you asked, I was shocked when I first saw her as well. First question, I was like, well, who's looking at her? They was like, well, there's people looking, but nobody's offering. I'm like, why?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not even any Peach Belt schools have offered yet.
None. And I mean, everybody has their reasons, but I'm telling you, like, when I tell you about a kid, like I was telling people about Clarence Jackson, when I tell you about a kid, man, I'm not just, it ain't the boast and brag, it ain't looking for no cool points. It's because I know, I can tell. Just like, I mean, any other person could tell, like Kawhi could tell you just how good a kid can be.
Yeah.
But it's just she does everything you want a player to do.
All right. Who's your next one, Juke?
Oh man, I was watching Twitter. You know, I'm always searching, and my guy Coach Raw posted a kid at his program at TSF.
Okay.
Kevon Eskridge, 6'4" wing.
Yeah, I know who Kevon is.
Man, listen, kid plays the 1 through 4 position. Vocal guy, tough and competitive. And one thing for the kids that go to TSF, you're gonna know how to play some basketball. Rob gonna make sure the old guys play hard. He gonna make sure they know the game. So I'll have to see. It's on Dre, it's on the tell Dre it's in his messenger. It's on his messages on Twitter. My bad. That's the one I didn't send to you. Yeah, my bad, Dre. I'm sorry. And that was the main reason why I called Dre, because we ended up talking about another kid that I got, and I didn't even tell him that I sent him the film. That's
okay.
Not how
That's all good. We'll get him next week. All right.
All right, that'll work. We good.
Yeah.
We good then. So I got another kid named Kentravian Greer out of Terrell County.
Okay.
Rebounds and defends well, 6'5". Man, he looks like one from the film. He has a motor. Like, he rebounds the ball at an elite level. And I like comparing kids that I've seen come up. So he reminds me of a Greg Holloway. Like, he's a rebound machine. And if people don't remember Greg Holloway, he played at Westside Macon, and he had like 320 rebound games. So for me, and I'm actually showing a lot of single A love in this episode. So he's coming out of Terrell County, and he was at a single A. He's at Terrell County is a single A school, close to like Albany.
Okay. Hey, that's serious right there.
Yeah, I mean,
That's serious.
I wanted to see him. Like I talked to him, and I gotta really see hey Coach Huff. Hey Coach Huff, hit me up about Greg, Coach. Hit me up about Greg. Let's talk. We'll talk about Greg. Greg's still open, just so you know. He's looking for a school right now.
Hey, Huff, I'm gonna report you, Huff. I done told you about that, Huff. I'm gonna report you.
Hey, he looking for a school right now, man. I would listen to what I'm gonna say. I would love for him to be with a coach like Coach Huff, because I know he gonna bring it out on him.
Hey, man, and listen, all jokes aside, man, hey, you know, I think the world of Huff, man, and Huff, when I say he be on the grind with that recruiting tip, man, it's not a gym I don't go into. I'm bumping into Huff. That's why I'm like, man, in real talk, man, that Voorhees program, give it 2 years, bro. 2 years max.
Yeah.
And Huff, I need my baseline seat, brother. That's all I'm gonna ask. I need my baseline seat.
But overall,
you got one more, Juke?
I actually got 2, and then I'm done.
Okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Jamal Taylor, man, out of Hancock Central. If you don't know who Jamal Taylor is, he helped Hancock Central to a state championship this past season. A point guard, maybe 5'8", 5'9", but he does everything you want in a point guard. And I will put him against some of the top point guards that we talk about a lot of. I put him against a lot of them right now. And he plays football. And he's a great athlete in football also. So anybody looking for a hard-nosed guy like Jamal Taylor, a.k.a. Peanut, once you look at this film, give me a call, and I promise you I'll direct you to him. I don't even want to say nothing else about him. I want to just look at the film on the kid.
Hey, Jew. For Jamal Taylor, I can't screen share that one because that email account is not on this computer, man. So, because what happened was Jamal's his footage, the mags was too big, man. It was too big. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get him though next week, man. That was my bad because I was gonna screen share that, and when I was getting ready to screen share, I only got my Gmail on this one, man, and you sent it to my other one, man. So that's on me, man. My bad.
Hey, no pressure. Anybody want to check out Jamal Taylor film before next week just to get the scoop on him? Let me know, or follow me on YouTube at Coach Juke, and he's on my YouTube page also. So we're gonna make sure we get that going.
Okay.
And my last one. Hey, I hope we can get this one now. Cause me and Dre talked about this kid for about 20 minutes today. And he's another single A kid coming from my area out of Lincoln County High School.
Okay.
If you don't know where Lincoln County is at, it's close to Augusta. I'll just say that. Some of y'all ain't going to Augusta, so y'all ain't gonna know where Lincoln is at unless you're a football coach.
Hey, that's Hey, well, first off, let me go ahead and start. Anytime you bring a lefty on the show, let me just tell you straight up. Hey, how you doing, Miss Carr? How you doing? How you doing? But let me tell you something. I got an affinity for lefties because I'm a lefty. You know what I'm saying? And hey, the way he get up off that ground, bro, real talk.
That was his freshman film. He's a 10th grader. He hasn't even he's a 10th grader. He's 2023.
Hey, tell him to holler at Georgia Man Up. We got a home for him this summer.
Hey, listen to what I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Jones. He gets that every single week. Every single week. I actually think he plays with AOT. To be honest, I think now he was playing with AOT. And for me, I didn't know if he was gonna stay in Lincolnton or not. I was hoping he didn't. But I gotta see him this season in the region too. So like I know how good this kid is.
We'll go see him, Juke. We'll go see him together.
Okay. When we play him with Green County. I'll tell you when we play him with Green.
And that's all you need to say. Dre, get the gas up, brother. We going on the ride, my guy.
Yeah. Dre know about Frank Horn, Sherman.
Hey, listen. And Dre, matter of fact, it's funny. Dre already high on Frank Wall, man. He was like, D. And I was like, no, I ain't seen him. I'm a believer now. I'm a believer.
We know about him. Ask my guy Shep about him. Shep know about him. Coach Shep know about him. Ask Shep about him.
Don't worry about him. And when you see him in that blue and gray, you'll know what time it is. You know what time it is. That's all you got, Juke?
I'm good. I'm gonna make sure we get Jamal Taylor on here next week.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'm gonna show love to outside of Atlanta, man. Since y'all opened my eyes, I got two from outside of Atlanta. This is for Juke and this is for Locke this week, bruh. So before I get to those two, my girl is out of Marietta High. This is Asia Smith out of Marietta High, 5'9" forward.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
tough. What's her name again?
Asia Smith out of Marietta High, man. No offers yet, man.
Okay.
No offers. Yeah, she's 2022, man. But hey, as you can see, she can go, man. She can go.
Very much so.
Man, and my thing is this: I'm not sitting up here to say, hey, she need to have D1 offers, but you trying to tell me no NAIs, no D3s, no D2s, no HBCUs, SIAC? What are we talking here? Nothing. I mean, yes, she got some interest, but somebody should have pulled that trigger already. You know what I mean? Somebody definitely should have pulled that trigger. So next up, like I said, Warner Robins, what's up? Northside High, what's up, man? Hey, like I said, my man right here, definitely real talk. This is going to be one of those guys. I think he's going to be special wherever he goes. We're going to start off with Jordan Brown from Northside High, man. Listen, he's a dog. Let's go ahead and show these highlights, man.
He got to be talking about Jordan.
You know I am. Hey, man, listen here. Listen. As you well should have, Huff. As you well should have. Listen, Huff, I know you got an eye, brother, but everybody else that haven't seen this kid or offered this kid, Huff, like I said, the early bird get the worm, brother, because somebody done definitely missed the bus on him. I mean, I walked in the gym and it only took a couple minutes. I'm like, who's this guy? And as I got to talking to, some of the people down there, and they like, oh, yeah, he's a 3.7 to 4.0 and, over 1,100 on the SAT. I'm scratching my head like, why isn't anybody down there looking at him? So, like I said, I made it a point. As soon as I got home, I was like, oh, this is my player of the week right here. Ain't nothing to talk about. Like I said, that guy right there, hey, Northside, y'all got something there, man. Much love to y'all, man. I like that kid. And he's still raw. And with him being raw, man, I'm telling you, sky's the limit for him, man. Sky's the limit for him, man. I can't say enough about him. I like him. Mom and Dad, it was definitely good to meet y'all. Y'all got one on your hands there. Definitely. Shout out. My next one is going to be Jatarian Warren from Tift County. 6'6".
He just signed with Chipola.
Oh, did he? Hey, let it play, man. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Hey, hold on, Dre, before you put that out there, Dre. That kid was a steal. What I'm telling you right now, that kid was a major steal to those guys. And I sent coaches his film. I sent a lot of coaches this kid's film, and none of them said anything back. Chipola got them a good one. He's gonna be a D1 caliber kid within the next year or two. I promise you that.
Drew, listen, let me tell you something. I saw the kid and I was telling Dre, I was like, man, who's this? And again, with you and Locke representing for outside of Atlanta, man, I mean, listen, I'm a believer because I'm like, man, some of these kids got to be seen, man. Hey, between Jordan and Jatarian, and nobody's looking at them. And not to say nobody's looking at them, I was like, they deserve a lot more attention, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. And I understand, yeah, it's in the rural, and I get all that, but man, we're in an age now where, man, these kids need to be seen, man. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
I don't mind coaches calling me, asking me about a kid. If you're looking for a kid, I'm gonna tell you. But Jatorian Warren was a major kid that didn't have any schools on him, and they should have. Shout out to Locke and shout out to EJ Brown because they were always talking about how good this kid was. But again, coaches don't want to take that trip to South Georgia. Man, listen, I'll Uber you guys down that way if I ain't got no game. I'm trying to help y'all out. You just come on, man. 6-6. Hey man, I didn't find this kid. I'm not gonna take credit for that at all. Locke and EJ Brown talked about this kid, but I can tell you that we put in a lot of work to get coaches to watch this kid play, and a lot of them probably didn't open their email. Some of them didn't reply back, and Chipola got a steal, man. I'm telling you, they got one though.
Hey, Juke, let me tell you something, brother, man. Our whole vision of this, man, is just to get these kids, get some eyes on them, man. At least get them some type of attention, man. For him not to get no attention, man, don't even get me started. Some of these guys that's in college, I don't know what y'all missing, but even if you were an NAI or D2, man, y'all better get on the train and make it happen, man. I mean, that kid can play, man. I mean, like you said, Chipola got a good one. But man, we're gonna round out the show with some shout outs, man. And so, Juke, big things happened this past Sunday, man. And this is something for Atlanta and for Georgia as a whole, man. We got a prospect that just got an offer from MIT, man. Do you know how big that is? That's one of the top 2 colleges in the country, man. And MIT just offered him. Shout out to Umar Rashid, man. You just opened doors for Georgia. Period. You opened doors for Georgia. Yeah, you got a 4.5 GPA. Yeah, you got a 33 on the ACT. But, brother, to hear how excited MIT was when they offered him, I'm sitting back. I was like a kid, man, because not only if I'm happy for him, man, this opened the door for other kids at high academic. You go to MIT, man, you set for life. Period. Playing what they got from an alumni standpoint. And I want any kid that's watching this, man, listen, not going D1 or D2 is not the end of the world. If you go high academic D3, listen here, you're going to be a lot better off than a lot of percentage of people in this world, man, because what they can offer you when this ball stops bouncing is far more valuable. And that's what this is supposed to be about, man. So definitely shout out to Umar Rashid, man, from Creekview High and the Georgia Canes. What up, Bryce, man? And then finally, man, the other I got to give shout out to Huff, man. Huff been out here. I can't get no sleep for the kids that Huff is trying to get, man. I'm like, Huff, Jesus, you're going to be under investigation. Man, Huff putting it in. And the kids he getting, don't be surprised if Voorhees is in that NAIA tournament, man. Real talk, man. So got to shout out Huff because, man, what you doing over there, man, before even people can see, the people in the background can see. And I'm like, brother, it's going to get ugly real fast in Voorhees, really.
Very, very much. And Mr. Jones, I want to give a shout out to Coach Caleb Kimbrough out of Hampton, Sydney. Hey, man, Coach Kimbrough saw a lot of great talent, and I think that Warner Robins is definitely going to be, or Macon is definitely going to be one of his areas. Georgia is already a big area for him because he got DJ Wright from Greene County. So Hampton Sydney he actually has 3 Georgia kids that a lot of people slept on. He has a kid named Ryan Clemens, and he has DJ Wright also. So for him to come from Virginia at a big time like a big time D3 school like Hampton Sydney, and come and take 2 kids out of Georgia, that's a great thing. And he's also in Warner Robins trying to take some more kids with him too. So shout out to him and Coach Huff for what they're trying to do for the city.
And my last shout out, man, of course, goes to Warner Robins and Kawasi, man. Definitely, man. Thank y'all, man. I mean, definitely thank y'all, man. Hey, y'all put Middle Georgia on the map for real, man. Man, all y'all down there, hey, off the dribble, man, y'all did y'all thing. My man Dre, whole love of the game crew, man. We was there to support. It was one beautiful thing with that One Georgia movement, man. It was a beautiful thing, man.
We missed it some though, Mr. Jones. And I know he's watching. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this nicely. Bryce, get out the city. Get out the city, Bryce. These people told me that you won't leave 85. If you got Huff, you got Locke, if you got Willie, and you got Dre and Mr. Jones out, man, we got to get you down here out the way. Stop playing. Come on, I come to the city and come watch some game, Bryce. Come on, we're going to make sure you're taken care of. And you, not Willie, but Locke said you had a free ride, so you can't say you had to spend some gas money.
Hey, Juke, hey, they was already on his head last night on the podcast. They was already on his head,
get to see it. I'm on his head now. Bryce. Hey, Bryce, do me a favor. Come to the country, man, at least once. Come at least once. Bring your swag to the country. They gonna love it. Come on and get out this way. Dre, get your boy down here to the country, man. Come on.
Hey, one last thing. Hey, Drew, one thing I wanted to say as well. Man, we gonna step our game up on showing the girls some love as well. So coaches, and I'm talking girls coaches, if y'all got anybody that want to be seen, man, because like I said, the two we shown tonight, for them not to have any offers is crazy. But it's not just about the boys. We want to definitely show the girls love because also, like I said, Juke, you can go to WBB Gyms on Twitter. I got over 500-600 coaches on there, and hey, like I said, I'll go ahead and put them out. It's whatever, Juke. We roll together on this, brother. You know what I mean?
Oh, big fan, Mr. Jones. I'm here. We locked in.
Definitely. So next week we're gonna show at least 2 girls next week, and we're gonna go with 2 guys as well. We're gonna keep showing this love and keep getting some people some more love. Like I said, hey, Jordan Brown, my guy, your time is here. Your time is here, brother. Trust me. And hey, congratulations too. I didn't even know Jatarian signed with Chipotle, but that's a good look because hey, when I saw him, I was like, hey, he need to get some love. But hey, congratulations again. So that's gonna wrap it up for the show. Hey, next week we got my man Reggie Anderson, assistant coach from Young Harris, coming on the show. Reggie gonna be in here to drop some gems for about Young Harris and talk about the Peach Belt as well, man. And like I said, for all you guys that want to get shown, I'm sure Reggie will take a look as well. And like I said, the post-grads, hey, the post-grads is out here lurking in the background. I ain't going to call y'all out. About 2 or 3 of them was out here lurking, asking questions as the show's going on. So understand, in all seriousness, you all are getting looked at. From a post-grad, from a JUCO, from D2, NAI, there are eyes looking. Number one, keep playing hard. Hey, this season, I know COVID has been tough on everybody, but there's still people looking, whether it be live stream or whatever the case, or by word of mouth, man. Like I said, Juke know people, I know people, Dre know people, this whole Georgia network know people, so you don't know who's going to speak on your behalf. That's all I'm saying on that one. But, hey, man, you all have a good night, man, and definitely one Georgia, one love, man. Good night, man.
All right, be safe, y'all.